It's story time. It's my birthday. I thought I'd do something a little different. Normally, I'm educating you on how to be a better communicator, but I also like to tell stories. That's why I joined Toastmasters. I am 48 years old now. Woo! What a milestone. It's my first 48. I like using that reference because it's not like I'm going to get murdered. Well, at least I don't know that. But the first 48 is a show about how the first 48 hours is so important. It's so crucial to solving a case. And in my case, it's what am I going to do this year that's going to be different than what I did last year? My first 48. And technically, this is still part of the 48 because my birthday is the day of pie. Do you know what the day of pie is? Go ahead, I'll give you a minute. I kind of gave you a math problem. All you got to do is do the math and you'll figure it out. If I said this is my first 48, I'm still within my first 48. And the day of pi, you know what pi is? I'll give you a hint. It starts with a 3. You can Google it. I'll go ahead and save you the time. The day of pi is March 14th because it's 3.14. That's what pi is, the first beginnings of pi. Pi has a lot more digits after that, which I don't remember. But I just know that my birthday is also the day of pi. It's also known as the Men's Valentine's Day. I found this out too. And on the Men's Valentine's Day, you're supposed to get a steak and a BJ. Now, it's my birthday, so I'm supposed to get something special regardless from my wife. But my gifts are always great. Matter of fact, I'm wearing my gift. She got me this for my birthday. It's a Samsung watch. And it has been tremendous. It has taught me a lot about my body, about my heart rate, all kind of things that I need to know in order to stay healthy and be healthier, especially with sleep. But let's talk about my first 48 and figuring out what am I going to do different this year versus last year. There's a lot that needs to be addressed in this whole first 48. I'm the type of person who has I'm not going to call this habit good or bad, but I have a habit of finding things that I find very interesting, that I want to do, that I would like to try. Maybe that's my problem. I put that word try in front of it. When you put the word try in front of things, it gives you less of motivation to make it a more of accomplishable task. I have an issue with continuing things. I'll start something, I'll be all about it. And then at some point, I lose interest. And when I lose interest, I lose focus. And when I lose focus, I lose everything altogether. This has been the struggle with me and my DJ career. Me DJing has been the longest thing that I've done in my life, period. Well, besides living. But as far as an extracurricular activity or something that could generate me money, DJing has been the longest thing that I've done. And I haven't even done that consistently. It's been an on and off thing. I don't know what it is about me and extracurricular activities that could either be lucrative, fun, or just something that could be life-changing. I don't stick with it. I believe that some of my issue is I don't have enough encouragement around it. Maybe I do. What's weird about it is, so for DJing example, as my example, I have gotten lots of praise as a DJ. When I first got started, and during some of my peak times of me being a DJ, DJing at clubs, at raves, and house parties, I got a lot of praise. But I think my main issue is me not believing in me. When I get to a certain point where I lose my inspiration, my motivation, my will to keep going, it's detrimental. There's a part of me, that inner voice, that inner monologue that we all have. It seems like there's two voices. So I know you know the analogy of the devil and the angel, right? They sits on somebody's shoulders. It's in cartoons all the time, and even in TV shows. I have that. I feel like I do. My main problem is, and I think it's also demonstrated in cartoons as well, is that devil speaks way louder than that angel. The angel is the one that's the encouraging, the inspiration, the love, the nurturing part of me that really wants me to succeed, that really wants me to do all these great things because it knows I can. It knows I can. This one is supposed to be there to protect me. According to things that I've listened to on podcasts, read in some books, that negative voice, it was created to help keep us safe back in the times where we needed to be way more aware of our surroundings because while we were hunting, we were also being hunted. We also had to be careful of things that could kill us. Well, that voice, since we're in a different day and age, that voice doesn't have that same kind of task anymore. We are in a much safer environment than we was back in those days when I guess we're cavemen, if you want to believe that. It's just that voice is supposed to keep us safe. But I feel like my voice is not trying to keep me safe. It's trying to keep me complacent. But why? This is a question I ask myself a lot. I don't know if you ever question that voice. I've learned that when you question that voice, you give that voice less power. My only problem is when I question that voice comes back with some answers that's kind of like, okay, you made a good point. Made a good point. I need this voice to speak up more. This voice, when it is speaking, like I am all about it. It sounds like me. This one doesn't sound like me. I don't know whose voice this is. It's not like it's my parents. It's not like it's any old friends. Or is it? I had some friends in my neighborhood that I grew up with that weren't very encouraging. We had this thing where we would always rank on each other. That's what we called it. You might call it dissing each other, talking smack. That's what we did. I used to get talked smack to the most, I felt, because I had a lot of easy targets. I stuttered. I didn't dress very good. My haircuts was... Sometimes I would even have them cut my hair. So that was my mistake. I did things that was out of the ordinary, according to what society or Black culture was supposed to represent. I was a skater back in grade school, middle school, and some of high school. I dated white girls. I did a lot of things that was typically not Black, but I didn't live in a typically Black neighborhood. I lived in a very mixed cultural neighborhood. So I got to see all different types of culture, and I got to experience things differently. Where is this story going? Maybe this is just me reflecting, because it all has to come back to a certain point in my past that is dictating the things that is keeping me stuck in my future. or my present, I should say. My inner dialogue. I think what's trying to keep me safe, it's not working. It keeps me down. It keeps me in a lower level that I don't feel I need to be at. I don't think I belong there. I'm pretty sure I know I don't. Which is why every now and then, when I find something I want to do, I decide that I'm going to do it. Now I have to stick to it. I learn a lot. I get into it. I can even teach what I'm learning because I have people who ask me about it, like my wife. Whoa, what did you learn today? Well, I learned this and this, and this. I can get excited about it. I don't know how to maintain that excitement for it. I think maybe what I need is more people that are already doing the thing that I'm trying to learn how to do and be around them more often. Which is why I think Toastmasters will be more successful for me as far as speaking is concerned. Let me tell you, I already thought about stopping doing that. I had a moment of weakness. My inner dialogue was talking so negative to me. I had a meeting with one of my club friends, and he was telling me about what it takes to get paid gigs. And when he showed me a website of all the people who are paid speakers, it was basically like what's the word? It's not LinkedIn. It's like a Upwork for paid speakers. They have their profile. They talk about what they speak about, and they talk about what they charge. And he made me go through all of those. Well, he actually made me think about, what am I going to be talking about to an audience? Who is my target audience? I still don't know all of this stuff. But he broke it down to me. He's like, this is how you're going to have to stand out. If you want to get booked, you got to be able to be different from these people. When he said that, it got me to thinking, well, what makes me different? I drew blanks. What makes me special? I drew more blanks. And then when I drew all those blanks, I got into a mood. I got into a thought pattern that wasn't good. It took me down a rabbit hole of, you're not good enough. This ain't for you. You won't be successful in this. Just stop doing it now. Don't worry about getting paid. Just have fun doing it. Something about money. I have an issue with money. I don't know where this issue stems from. I don't know what happened in my life to make it to where I feel like making a lot of money is not for me. However, I want to have a lot of money. This contradiction has really done a number on me. I think that's why I take certain kind of jobs. I stay in those certain kind of jobs forever, because it's like, this seems normal. This amount of pay seems right for me, but it doesn't. It's not. I was going to therapy, but I didn't really feel like therapy was helping. It wasn't until I started to actually look into what therapists are supposed to do and what I can learn about the brain itself. So my issue is not uncommon. It's just that it's something that I have never worked on. So now that I decided to, which was learning about psychology, learning about the different types of uh, ways that the brain works, and learning about how to actually work with your brain instead of against it. That's when I learned about NLP, neuro linguistic programming. I was heavy into that work. And I was actually trying to use it to learn more about me, learn about the patterns that I have and how to break them. So many useless patterns are roaming around in my brain that are doing the same thing, keeping me stuck in the same cycle every year. So how am I going to break my cycle this year? Well, let's start with what I can do. I can get back into NLP to where I'm learning it to where I can teach it, because that's the best way to learn. If you can learn it to where you can teach it, then it's more cemented into your brain, and you can actually do what you're learning at a much rapider pace. I hope I'm speaking English. Not only should I get back into NLP, I'm going to be doing more stories. I'm going to tell more stories about my life. I feel like when I was doing that for social media, like I was doing it for Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, when I was doing that for those channels, it was therapeutic. And it also helped me think about the kind of stories I would like to tell on stage. I do want to do comedy. I feel like I could do comedy. I have so much comedic stuff that's happening in my life that I could talk about it. All I got to do is learn how to put the spins on it to make it more relatable to everybody else and really enhance the funny parts of it. I've been watching a lot of comedy while I work at my job, and I like the comedy. I like how they tell their stories. I like how they make them funny. And I like how it's relatable. So Toastmasters is helping me with learning how to speak. But I think once I actually get on a stage to start telling stories about my life in a funny manner versus a Toastmasters manner, because trust me, they're two different things. I mean, Toastmasters has it to where you can make funny stories. They have a system to do that. But what I see in comedy is totally different from a Toastmasters version. But then again, it's all about me creating my own version of me being a storyteller. This is one of those dramatic pauses. I'm giving my brain time to analyze, what am I going to do next? I think I did just explain something that I will have to do next. I will have to find some open mics and give it a shot. I think the beauty of Toastmasters is it gets you prepared for timed speeches. I have a competition next week, and it is for table topics. That is the 1 to 2 minute speech where they give me a subject, they give me a question, and I answer the question within that 1 to 2 minutes. They also have speeches in Toastmasters that are between 5 to 7 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, or even 18 to 20 minutes. Whew. So, and if you watch any kind of stand-up comedy, they usually do hour-long sets, at least for their specials. But before they even get to the special, they have their club time where they only get a few minutes to tell their jokes. So I need to do that. Definitely need to do that. So far I have to get back into my NLP learning, go to some open mics to try out comedy. I got that word try. To do comedy. What's my third thing I'm going to do? The third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to be more active with my club members. I believe that if I find a good club mentor, maybe a mentor, then me being attached to somebody who is encouraging, who's also at a level that's above where I'm currently at, that I can get to with their help, I believe that'll keep me engaged enough to make me want to do more and stay with it. So First thing, NLP training. Second thing, open mics for comedy. Third thing, find me a mentor. I think I'm gonna find a mentor on both aspects. If I go to open mics at comedy stores and I show some promise, maybe one of the OG comics would be like, hey, I like your style. I would like to work with you on making you better. I see some things within your set that I believe you could do that would make it way funnier. This is just me imagining how this is going to go. They say that if you use your imagination to see what you want, to have what you want, then you are basically programming the universe to align it as such. Now, granted, it might not turn out exactly how you imagined it, but at least you're getting the universe ready to give you what you want. That's another thing. I need to figure out what it is that I really want. Whenever I try to just do things just for money, it's never what I want. So what do I want to do for money? I guess what I have to do is whatever I find fun. So let's find something fun to do for money. Or just leave out the for money part. Find something fun to do that could turn into something that can make money. With the way this world is, you could turn just about anything into something that's profitable. So I got 5 tasks to do. I'm going to leave it at 5. 5 is a solid number. 5 is how many fingers I have on this hand. So that's what I'm going to stick with. Oh, I got another hand, but nope. I don't want to do too many tasks because then that could be overload. So 5. NLP training. Look at that. My brain is already blanking. NLP training. Open mics. Find a mentor. Dang, what was the 4th one? Find something fun to do. I think that was number 5. That's something fun to do that could be profitable. I think this was telling stories. I'm working on telling stories. I plan on doing this on my YouTube channel now. Maybe it'll help it grow faster. Just from telling stories. I got a gang of stories. I got a story that I actually want to turn into a book about my best friend who ended up murdering 3 people. There's no allegedly, he definitely did it. So I have some things to do, some things to work on. I'm going to end this video now because this is a solid 5 things to work on for my first 48 to make sure it's not like the rest of the 47s. You dig? Thank you for watching. Peace.